Hello everyone, my name is Triceratops and I'm here with a new old school RuneScape series. I've been playing old school RuneScape since I was about 12 years old. I only recently started playing it within the past 2 years. And one thing I found out was that most videos online just tell you what to wear and how to do it, but they don't tell you the why. So the purpose of this series, Old School RuneScape for Beginners, is to really break everything down for the new players, give you everything that you need in order to use your newfound knowledge and apply it to future things in the game, so you're not always just doing things because you're told and not understanding why. I hope you guys enjoyed this series and make sure to leave a comment about which guides I should do next. I plan on making a couple videos at the beginning here, just going over the basics of RuneScape, the basics of combat, what you need to know about the game, and then I will dive into specific minigames, specific bosses, specific training methods, and we will kind of see where this goes from here. I will mention my videos will not include any endgame content, any raid content, any tick manipulation, anything like that. My account's not quite there yet. I don't have all the knowledge on that yet, and I feel like if that's the content you're looking for, you already have a good understanding of the game, so my videos just aren't quite for you. Without further ado, let's get into our first video. Hello and welcome to RuneScape. We are on Tutorial Island. Tutorial Island teaches you the basics of the game, how to get started. It's very helpful for teaching you the little things about the game. However, it definitely does not teach you everything. So we'll take a look at what Tutorial Island actually goes over with you, and I will go over the rest. So it starts by teaching you how to fish, then goes over on wood cutting as well as cooking. So this is pretty much all you need to know about cooking, wood cutting. It's all pretty self-explanatory. I'm going to go over here, and this is where it teaches you about your quest list, teaches you about mining and smithing, a little bit about combat, melee and range combat. And then we go up to the surface, we learn a bit about our bank and the polling options, as well as this little account tab. Teaches you a little bit about prayer as well. Learn a little bit about magic, and that's about it. So the Tutorial Island is finished now. One important thing to know for new players, do not start an Iron Man. So an Iron Man is an account that is restricted. A normal main account, you can trade with other players, you can drop, pick up items, you have unlimited deaths, you always respawn, things like that. You have the regular Iron Man, so that restricts you from trading with other players, which means that every item that you need, any weapon, equipment, food, you have to find and make and create yourself. So it's definitely a good challenge for players who know the game. Do not recommend it on your very first try. It also goes up into hardcore Iron Man, where you only have one life. You can do group Iron Man, where it's a group of you with the Iron Man status. However, you can trade with each other, just not with other people. There's also the Ultimate Iron Man, where you do not have access to a bank, so everything in your inventory is all that you have. I definitely do not recommend it on your very first go around. There is a lot to this game, and it will take a very long time for you to know where to get everything, how to get everything, and you will definitely struggle if you're Iron Man for the first time, but hey, to each their own. The tutorial island showed us about half of our bars, but now once we get into Lumbridge, we're going to talk to this fun John guy. It looks like this is for new accounts, so they kind of gives you an adventure path here. This actually really helps guide you about where to start. Once you kind of log into the game, you have no idea where to start. But I found this is actually quite helpful. It gives you a little bit of details on what you need, how to get there. So definitely follow this if you're a new player. That will help you a lot. However, now that we're in Lumbridge, there's a whole lot of extra tabs here that we did not learn on Tutorial Island. So where do we go from here? Yeah, you can definitely start with combat. Just go start killing some things. You can start fishing. You can start whatever you want. The great part about this game is you can do whatever you want. If you don't want to fish, if you don't like it, then don't do it. I do recommend talking to some of these people around town. This melee combat tutor will give you a training sword and shield to get you started. I already have some runes in my inventory, but this magic tutor will give you some runes as well, and the ranged combat tutor will give you a bow and arrow. You can definitely utilize these to help you out until you can get some better upgrades. We will first take a look at our skills tab. Skills are everything that you train in this game to get better at combat, to get better at quests. They're everything you need to know to level up your account. Now, every single skill you can right-click on and view the guide for it. It will give you a brief overview of what it's used for, what to do with it, and the different unlocks and levels that you need for specific things. The first skill here is attack. Attack is a combat skill. The higher your attack level, the more accurate you are going to hit. So versus hitting a bunch of zeros or hitting a bunch of ones, the higher the attack, the more often you will hit. And this is also required for getting better weapon upgrades. The next one here is strength. Strength is your maximum hit. So it's another combat skill, and it makes the difference between hitting a bunch of ones or hitting a bunch of tens. The higher your strength, the higher you hit. The next one here is defense. Self-explanatory, the higher the level, the higher defense you have. The next level here is range, shooting with bows and arrows, throwing knives, darts, crossbows, things like that. The next step down here is prayer. Prayer is extremely important. Prayer also has a sub-tab at the bottom here. Leveling your prayer means you unlock certain prayers to use for combat. The most important ones are what they call overhead prayers. So these ones here protect from magic, protect from missiles, and protect from melee. In a lot of cases, these 100% negate the damage from monsters, so you don't have to keep eating food. You just put on one of these protect prayers and you'll be fine. However, in Members World, you will need to get prayer pots. We'll talk about that later in order to keep your prayer up. You also have other prayers to increase your attack, damage, your defense, as well as the protect item. So if you die, you keep one extra item, rapid restore, rapid heal, things like that. The next one down here is magic, used for combat as well. Magic is also really good for teleports. There's a lot of teleport spells to get you around the game, so leveling up magic is super important. It also gives you access to other spells such as Entangle, it roots monsters in their path, as well as High Alchemy, which is a really good money maker as it converts items to gold. Moving on, we have rune crafting. Rune crafting is making runes. So in order to catch magic spells, you need these runes, and you can get these runes by rune crafting. You can make them all yourself, especially important for Iron Man who, you can't buy it all at the Grand Exchange. You just make your own runes, and that's how you cast your magic spells. Next one, we have construction. Construction is super important. You get your own house that you can make, your POH, your player-owned house, and you add a whole bunch of upgrades to it that actually helps you a lot in the game. So definitely don't neglect construction. You can add a bunch of teleports in it. You can switch your spell books in it. This is just a quick example of what your house could look like. As you can see, you can have a bunch of different teleports. Easy ways to get around the game eventually so you don't have to run everywhere. My teleport menu. When it comes to magic, there are also different spell books that you can use. So you can change your spell book here, and now you can see I have access to a lot more different spells. Your hit points here is your health. It automatically levels up whenever you're training any other combat skill, so attack, strength, ranged, magic. This is always passively going up in the background. Next we have is agility. Agility is another very, very important one. It allows you to take shortcuts across the map. So, for example, this shortcut here across the river Normally, you would have to, if I want to go to this bank here, I'd have to run all the way up and down to this bank. However, if we were to unlock agility, we can just hop across the river there. Same thing up here if I were to want to run from the Champions Guild all the way to Draenor Manor. I would have to either run all the way south down this way or all the way north up this way. However, with agility, I could just cross the river there. Super painful to level up, but extremely important. Next here is Herblore. Herblore is making potions. So like I said earlier, you want to be able to have like prayer pots to keep restoring your prayer while you're negating against damage instead of food. You need to be able to make them yourself. That's what Herblore is, making your own potions. Next one here is thieving, self-explanatory, pickpocketing, stealing from stalls, stealing from chests. Needed for a bunch of quests, also good moneymaker. Crafting is crafting things, not as useful if you have access to the Grand Exchange, but this is how you make a bunch of things like glass and armor, things like that. Fletching is making arrows, making bows. Again, not super important if you have access to the GE because you can just buy it all. However, this is how you would make all of basically your ranged combat. Slayer. Slayer is extremely important and frequently neglected. Slayer is basically you get tasks to go kill some monsters for rewards. This is how you would want to level up your attack and strength, defense, ranged magic is by passively doing Slayer tasks as well. The higher the Slayer level, that's when you really start getting into good money making methods. I always recommend never leveling up any combat stats without also leveling up Slayer at the same time. Definitely focus on having Slayer passively in the background. It will help you for sure in the long run. Hunter. Hunter is one of my favorites. It's literally hunting. You can hunt birds and butterflies, things like that. It's a lot of fun later on when you have access to hunter rumors. We have mining here that was explained in Tutorial Island. You mine rocks and you can get better equipment, better pickaxes the more you level up. It works in conjunction with smithing, so a lot of the rocks you can get you smith into gold bars, and this is how you make pretty much all of your weapons and your armor. Again, really useful if you're an Iron Man. Most people just buy everything they need on the Grand Exchange. Fishing, we already learned about. You go fishing, but the more you level up, you can get bigger nets, you can get harpoons, you can go deep sea trawling, things like that. I skipped over cooking. Cooking is cooking. You cook, it's easy. This is how you feed yourself food. Fire making, lighting fires. The higher the level you are, the better logs you get. Wood cutting, cut trees. The higher the level you are, the better axes you can get. Farming. Farming is super important. You get seeds, you plant your own herbs, you plant your own trees, you plant your own food. Herbs are really important if you also want to level up Herblore because herbs are needed to make potions. And last but not least, new sailing. Sailing just came out. You boat along the water, you do different sea charting, different tasks, and you get a pretty fancy boat. So that's our skill tab. We'll quickly go over our combat tab here. I will make another video specifically on combat as there's a lot to dive into. However, the basics of it, you have your 4 different styles. So when you hover over these styles, it shows like accurate, stab, attack XP. When you are select on this, this means that you will be stabbing the monster and you will be gaining attack XP. Sometimes there are different monsters in the game that are weak to stab or weak to slash, and you want to make sure that you are on the correct style in order to do the most damage, as well as the correct weapon. You can see the category is stab sword. This is a sword that's meant to be stabbed with. You have your other tab here, so this is also stab. It's strength XP, so if you want to train your strength XP. The aggressive means you're focusing more on the strength hitting, whereas over the stab it had accuracy means you're focused more on the accuracy. You will hit more if you're using the accurate one. The aggressive one means you will hit higher, so this is still stabbing except you're training strength XP. And then slashing, it's slashing. You're also training strength XP, but obviously if you're killing a dragon, you want to make sure you're not on the slash. And then you have block. Block is for training defense. But the weapon is also stabbing if you use this. So if you want to focus on training defense while fighting a dragon, you can use this and get defense XP. At the bottom there is auto retaliate. That just means if a monster hits you, you turn around and attack them immediately. I always recommend turning this off so that you can run by monsters and run away from them without your character turning around to fight it each time. If we look at our combat tab with our bow on, you can see that even the bows has accurate, standard, ranged XP. It's always going to be training range XP. However, the accurate, obviously, you'll hit more, rapid, you'll hit faster, and the long range actually gives you an extra couple tiles to shoot from far away, and it does train defense XP passively as well. This is our quest tab. This is our quest list. Quest lists are super important. You should really focus on doing a lot of quests at the beginning to get started. There are a lot of them. They unlock a lot of different areas of the game, a lot of different weapons, armor, and they give you a lot more access to monsters, things like that. This is also under our quest tab. You can see our character summary shows our combat level, total level, achievements completed, our combat tasks. So those are tasks associated with combat all the way from easy to grandmaster, things like kill a black dragon, and you do get rewards if you complete a bunch of these. Our next tab here is collections logged. Every single boss, every single mini game, everything, a lot of things you do in this game have collection logs. So this is how you get rare items, a lot of different, what people say, drops. This just shows your collection log, everything that you have ever collected. This is our achievement diaries. Every single area of the game has different achievements that you can do. This unlocks certain rewards that are really helpful throughout the game as well, so make sure you are also doing those when you can. And then this part was the learning path, which I believe is only available to brand new accounts if you select that you've never played this game before, just a way to help you out. Your inventory tab, everything that you have on you. You can hold up to 28 items. This is our worn equipment tab. So this is everything you can see that you have on. These little buttons here, your view equipment stats. That's how you can see what you are wearing affects your stats, your attack bonus, your defense bonus, other bonuses, things like that. You can also see the speed of the weapon that you have equipped. Your weight at the bottom here actually contributes to how much run energy you lose. Next one here, view guide prices. This tells you how much things are at the Grand Exchange. You can just dump your whole inventory in just to see how much money it'd be worth. 852 GP is how much that's worth, but that's how you look at prices. View items kept on death, so when you die, you always keep 3 items. The rest goes to your gravestone. It will always be the most expensive items that you keep on you. You can also toggle info for if you get killed by a player in the wilderness. If you're beyond level 20 wilderness, also turning on that protect item prayer that I told you about gets you to keep another item. If you have a PK skull active, so if you hit somebody first in the wilderness, you get a little skull above your head. If you have a skull above your head, you lose everything. You don't keep anything. I already briefly went over our magic book. Next tab here, our friends list. You can add friends by just typing them in this way. You can also right click on their name in the chat if they're typing in the chat and add them as a friend. This is also where you see your block list. These are just useful links, so a direct click to the wiki page so you can look up what you need to look up. The community tab just shows you what different types of polls and news posts are going on right now. Your account, that's how you can change your name, view messages, upgrade your account to a member. Chat channels. There are different chat channels that you can add to talk to a group of people. You can also join a clan, talk to a clan. You can also chat in a different clan that you're not a part of. And then this is your grouping teleport, so different activities. For example, if I want to go do Castle Wars, I can click on Castle Wars. It will tell me which world is the best to go and do that. You can join a chat channel, so you can talk to everybody who are doing Castle Wars right now. And you can also use that as a teleport to get there as well. A little wrench, your settings tab. This is where you can see your settings. So the PK skull prevention, make sure you have this on. This is so you can't accidentally hit someone in the wilderness and then get a skull and then lose all your stuff. Player attack options is for when you're in the wilderness. Always right click I have on, so if I want to attack a player, I have to right click attack them. I can't just accidentally click on them. NPC attack options, left click will available, so this is just basically the same thing but for attacking monsters. You can either right click attack or you can always left click attack them. For example, if we look at this goblin here, when I hover my mouse over it, I can just go ahead and attack it. However, if I turn this to always right click, I cannot. So this stops you from accidentally attacking anything. You can always right click attack it as well. Or you can change it to depends on your level, so something that's a low level you can easily attack, but you can't accidentally click on something that's a higher level than you and get one shot and die. This is your accept aid button. So this is super important if people want to invite you to a clan, if people want to add you to their group when you're doing any like raids or barbarian assault. Have this on so people can invite you. This is your run tab. It's kind of pointless being here. You can switch from walking to running. However, it's also up here. Just use this one to toggle your run on and off. This tab here is for your house, your player-owned house. So bunch of different options you can do in here for your house. And this is your bond pouch. So bonds are used for membership. You can buy bonds on the OSRS page and then add them into your account so you can play for 14-day membership. And then the other tab here is just display settings. This is your emote tab. Different emotes you can do. You can jump, you can wave, you can dance. A bunch of them need to be unlocked by doing things around the game. Next one here, this is our music tab. So every area has a specific song. You unlock them by visiting the areas. And down here are all of our chat tabs. So the all tab shows everything. The game shows you things you're doing in the game, like chopping down trees, drops, things like that. Public chat, private chat, your channel, so that's your chat channel if you joined a chat channel. The clan chat, this is your clan chat to type in, or you can always do / to type in your clan chat as well. And then your trade, so you can see who's trading you. You can also right click any of these and turn them on or off. At the top here, our map, you can turn your camera. If you click on the compass, it points you back north. You have your HP, you have your prayer. You can also right click set up quick prayers, so you can automatically set up some prayers to turn on for you so you don't have to switch between tabs. Your run, activity advisor just kind of recommends things that you should do next. The two swords below the run icon is your special attack. There are some weapons out there that have special attacks. You click on that and that's how you activate your spec weapon. This is your map. This is how you see the entire map. There's a whole lot about this map. Your legend is on the left-hand side. Now, I have RuneLite. I definitely recommend all new players using RuneLite. There's different things you can turn on and off about this game. For example, I like to have everyone's names above their heads, so now I can see who everybody is and their names. It's green if they're my friend, it's blue if they're in my clan. Another thing I like to have is tile indicators, so that shows you exactly where your person is. If you can see, when I walk, the tile is always just a little bit ahead of me. That's where my person actually is in the game. However, if I turn on the run button and do it at the same time, you can see it actually skips a tile ahead, so you're actually a lot further forward than you think you are. This is used for jumping. If you ever hear people talk about jumping over things during boss fights, as you can see, my tile does not hit that one in between. There's tons of different plugins, tons of different things. I'm not going to go into details on RuneLite because there's 100 videos out there. But definitely make sure you have RuneLite, play around with it, look at different things. Quest Helper is a big one. It will tell you step by step on how to do the quest, so you're not always having to read the wiki or question yourself or get lost. You can open up the quest here and it will tell you exactly what item you need to get, who you need to talk to, and it will help you out a lot. Something else that's super important is worlds. So there's a lot of different worlds in RuneScape. A lot of them are mass worlds for mini game bosses. So if there's like a group boss that you want to fight, there is a world for it. So you could do it with a big group of people, or you can just, hang out on any world that you want. But make sure you always read the description of what the world is. There are PvP worlds, so where you can fight anybody wherever. Please make sure you don't go into a PvP world without knowing it, because then someone will attack you and you will die and you will lose everything. You can also look at your settings button here and go into more detailed settings just about setting up your game, what you prefer, what you don't prefer. Quick look at our bank here, lots of different tabs. You can organize your bank however you'd like. You can also view the equipment that you're wearing in the top left here. Your placeholders will hold things for you. For example, I have this outfit on. It will hold in this spot for me. If you click on this deposit worn item tab, it will just deposit everything that you currently have on into your bank, so you don't have to remove them one by one. And now it's filled up those placeholders without screwing up my bank. Bank settings, you turn on a bunch of different things. Deposit lock settings will hold an item for you in your backpack. For example, I can lock these. And then when I hit the deposit inventory, everything but those will be deposited. Little things that can help you out in the game. This is the Grand Exchange. The Grand Exchange is a place that you can exchange your items with other players worldwide. So instead of meeting up with people one-on-one and trading and buying things, the Grand Exchange is a place where you can put things up for sale, make some money, or you can buy items that you need. For example, if I want to buy a bunch of food, you just go to the Grand Exchange and you buy it instead of finding it yourself or buying it off other people directly. Everything on the Grand Exchange here is bought and sold by other players in the game. The Grand Exchange is not available to Iron Man, hence why I say if it's your first time playing the game, maybe you should not go with an Iron Man. So if you need something, you can just come to the GE and buy it rather than spending hours hunting for it. And if you ever hear people talking about tick manipulating or using game ticks, a game tick is also known as the server cycle. So about every 0.6 seconds is an action that you're allowed to do. You won't have to worry about tick manipulating. A lot of people can manipulate the ticks in the game to have their prayer last longer or mine or cut trees quickly. If you are interested in learning more about game ticks and manipulating it, you can definitely find a lot of videos online. It's not something that I'm comfortable with, so it's not something that I'm ever going to cover because I have no idea how to do it. I am not that sweaty, but if you would like to be that sweaty, definitely look into it and figure it out, and I hope that works out for you. All right, I tried to go as fast as I can. I'll definitely delve into combat a little bit more in another video, and then I'll just jump into different tutorials on boss specifics or minigame specifics. I hope this helped you a little bit. I know I definitely am missing a whole lot. I tried to not make this a 5-hour video, but if there's anything else you want to know or any questions or anything, the wiki is your best friend. Always, always use the wiki. It answers everything about every part of the game. It's not cheating. Use it to your advantage. We will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and let me know if you have any other suggestions. Bye!